Hey everyone, this is Jack G. Welcome back to my hobbies. I know I promised to start talking about my emergency go bags, bug out bags, etc. But I received my Christmas present that I had ordered from Benchmade. Shout out to Uriah, who actually gave me a gift certificate on the Benchmade.com site. And one of the cool things about Benchmade is you can actually go on their site and customize now, which you couldn't do before. And so I received this just the other day, so this is kind of exciting. This is the custom mini Crooked River, which I'll talk about the customizations I did. It's a blue glass knife. It is a Benchmade 15085. And as you can probably see here, you can see I did some customizations to it, like upgrading the steel to S90V. Sorry, that's hard to read. But we'll talk about some of the customizations. But I want to talk about this knife. I was super excited about ordering this. It was in my wish list, and I received the gift certificate for Christmas, which is way over the top. Thanks again, Uriah. Really appreciate that. And this was on my list. I had done a lot of research. I'd seen a lot of videos from like Apostle P and a number of other people on this, both the mini Crooked River, which is this one, and the Crooked River. The Crooked River is a little bit bigger, but as a mini, this is a really good size, which we'll talk about here. But I just love the look of this. It has the clip point blade. Went with the diamond wood, which is not like a, I don't know what you call it, like a somewhere between like a G10 and actual wood. Feels like wood, looks like wood, probably hold up better than wood. But for me, it just looks like such a classic, and it reminds me of sort of the old pocket knives that I used to have, which I really loved. With like typical wood, but this is kind of a modern classic in my opinion. So it's kind of, if you took all the best things from, the pocket knives that you had when you grew up and kind of modernized them, I think this is what you come up with. So this is in their Hunt series. This would be something, you can carry with you, out in the woods, or I carry it as an EDC as well. But I upgraded the steel, which I'll talk a little bit more later when I kind of compare and contrast upgrading knives on Benchmade versus just buying them somewhere else. But I'll just go ahead and take a look at this a little bit. I really love the diamond wood. This is an aluminum bolster here. I upgraded the steel to S90V, spent a little bit extra for that. Could have maybe gotten away with not doing that. But just kind of turn this around here a little bit so you can get a good look at that. All the good stuff of the Benchmade with the access lock, of course, thumb studs. Here's the backspacer. This backspacer is G10. And kind of coming around the back here, you can see I went with the sort of mini pocket clip, deep carry. As you know, I'm a big fan of the deep pocket carry, which we'll see in the jeans in a minute. But just a super sharp, nice, reminds me of the old buck knives, with the wood and stuff. The liners are mostly solid liners. There's a little bit of milling out here for the weight. But the one thing I just kind of wanted to talk about was I really loved this tapered, not just the look, but the feel in hand. It feels really good. This wood feels, the diamond wood feels like wood. It just fits so nice in the hand. And it was kind of funny because when I first received this a couple days ago, I put it in hand, and of course, I kind of flipped it. It's a little stiff now, but flipped it as usual. I'm like, wow, this feels really familiar. And I was like, why does this feel so familiar in hand? And maybe even a little bit better in some ways because of the arc here. It kind of fits in the palm really well. Really good size, lots of room here. And I realized like the specs of this knife felt so familiar, and I'll bring this one out, which you've seen before, of course. This is the Benchmade Osborne. And the more I thought about it, I thought it feels so close to this knife. And so I'm gonna read you the specs of actually both of them, and it turns out I was right. They're very close. So I don't normally read you the specs, but I'm gonna go ahead and read these specs because I think it's kind of interesting. So on the Mini Crooked River, the overall length is 7.89 inches. On the Benchmade Osborne, the 940, it's 7.87. So, I mean, they're almost exactly the same in length. It's kind of hard to tell with the dimensions here of this, the camera angle. The blade length is 3.4 inches, 3.4 inches, which is kind of funny. I mean, it's almost the same. I upgraded this to the S90V steel, and I did the same here because I really like it. It's hard to sharpen, but it really holds an edge, and its hardness is superior in my opinion, and really good at corrosion resistance as well, which I wanted in something I would carry out in the woods. Anyway, aside from that, so many things are very similar. The weight on this is 3.29 ounces. It's actually quite light. It feels a little bit heavier in hand, obviously, compared to the Osborne, which is like 2.44 ounces. Now, that part of that's because of the carbon fiber here. But I just kind of want to show you briefly blade width. They say that the Osborne's a little bit thicker, but honestly, I don't think it looks as thick. I don't know if you can kind of see that or not. Just to compare. So just to kind of give you an idea size-wise and handle, etc., that's probably pretty close about right there. I mean, look at that. They're almost exactly the same. The width, I think, of, yeah, this width of the blade, let's see, what is that? It says the, the handle width is, it says this is an inch. I'm not sure if I buy that. I mean, maybe it tapers out a little bit here more. But they feel very similar. This is a little, you know, contoured in, so it's not quite, but this is really thin in hand. This is feels really nice as well. I went with the deep pocket carry clip here, but you can just see the difference between, you know, the shallow, and I really love this kind of, you know, orange kind of bronze look of it. Size. In fact, I'll put that in the pocket so you can see the difference. As you know, I like kind of a low profile style. I don't like a lot, you know, coming out of the pocket. I also don't like the orange spacers that this generally comes with because it just stands out too much. But I did like this kind of pop in the orange here. By the way, that orange compared to the pictures you normally see on other sites, like it's a really bright, kind of reflective orange. I don't know if that comes through here in the camera, which is really nice. It really pops. Super cool. And that blade is just, it's just beautiful. It's a satin finish just like it is on this one, on the Osborne. Obviously different, you know, this is a Tonto style. In the pocket, let's take a look at that real quick, just so you can kind of see what that looks like. They're both deep pocket carries, but you can kind of see the shallowness of the short pocket clip versus the deep pocket longer in the pocket clip with the Osborne that I have here. And wow, it really, here, let's see if I can get this in frame here. I'm making a mess of it, I think. Really nice, low profile, right? Not a lot sticking up here, just a little bit of the tip. And if you don't have any color, you're not gonna notice that. This one is like, you know, super deep. I love that. But look at the length in the deep pocket clip. I really like the shallow look of this and kind of the bronze look. I wore this with brown pants the other day and you couldn't even see it, or if you had khaki pants, but I mean, look at the low profile. It's probably about a finger length difference or width difference. Both are really nice. I mean, you know me, I'm a big fan of the low profile. Speaking of low profile, I just want to talk about this real quick. The Super Freek I talked about the other day. I thought that there was a bit of a hot spot in my hand around here. I just want to touch on that real quick. As it turns out, when I replaced the pocket clip with one of my deep pocket carries here, I don't feel it at all. It feels so much better in hand. You know what, Benchmade, I think you should just like go with deep pocket clips and make people order the ones that aren't, because I'm pretty sure like everybody had a preference of deep or not. And in fact, just gonna show that real quick, even though this isn't really about the Super Freek, but see, Like, look at that. Like, it's really low profile. You can see the red a little bit, but unless you're like looking down my pants, you don't really see that I have something in my pocket. But straight on, that's kind of what it looks like. So this is the mini Crooked River. This is the Benchmade Osborne deep pocket clip carry, and then I replaced the Super Freek with a deep pocket carry as well. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to show that, but this video is really about, sorry, get this out of here, is really about the mini Crooked River, and just what a classic. I mean, this just takes me back to my childhood, but you know, with upgrades, right? You can flip it, you have the access lock, but the wood, I mean, it's just gorgeous. I really love it. Let's see if I can get all that in frame. Nice taper there, nice pointy clip here. Take a look at that. Anyway, a lot of people do some deeper reviews of this, but I just kind of wanted to show you what that looks like. And I'm gonna, in the next video I'm gonna go to now, talk about what it's like to customize knives on the Benchmade site. So let's go ahead and stop it here.